A panicked, very sickly, and cognitively addled Donald Trump is posting the following this morning. Rage post after rage post. Very strange stuff like this. Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo. Admit a mistake based on customer response. The ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. Have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again. Remember, in just a short period of time, I made the United States of America the, quote, hottest country anywhere in the world. 1 year ago, it was dead. Good luck, exclamation point. It's actually quite the opposite, Donald. We have this bizarro bordello Oval Office where you seize control over businesses like Intel, where you crash the economy, where you've made things far more expensive, where you have not resolved the war in Ukraine and Gaza in 24 hours as you promised, but you continue to commit fraud each and every day. As Carl Quintanilla posts, Intel, Nvidia, Apple, Coke, Cracker Barrel, U.S. Steel, and more to come. It's central planning. It's right out of the communist playbook. Literally controlling the means of production. Donald Trump putting himself on the board of U.S. Steel, controlling stakes in Intel, forcing Nvidia to pay tribute, making Apple CEO show up with golden bars. All the while, Donald Trump commits fraud like this. This is an email, a real email that Donald Trump sent his supporters this morning. Message from the president on Social Security. No tax on Social Security. I read that and was interested because there's nothing about no tax on Social Security in Trump's disastrous budget bill. There's a deduction that expires in 2028. But that's the only reference to Social Security. But this is what it says. Ben, these changes might definitely affect you. Here's what happened to Social Security. I just signed into law something I'm very proud of. No taxes on Social Security. But don't thank me yet. Democrats and radical judges are trying to shut down all the progress we've made together. Just pause there for a second. So what he's doing is he's lying and saying that there's no tax on Social Security, and then saying that the Democrats and the judges are out to block the thing that doesn't exist in the first place. If you want to be honest, just say that there's a $6,000 deduction which expires in 2028 so people can plan accordingly, but everything he does is a fraud. And the people in America recognize it. Just take a look at the new YouGov poll out of North Carolina, a state that voted for Trump, unfortunately, in 2024. There, Trump's disapproval has hit 54%. Roy Cooper, the former governor, Democratic candidate for senators, approval is 55%. And Michael Whatley, the MAGA Republican candidate for senator, his disapproval's at 35%. So it seems that could be a big Democratic pickup right there in North Carolina for that Senate seat. You take a look at one of the latest YouGov Economist polls on Donald Trump's handling of the economy. Look at his first term. Look at this term. He is deeply underwater as Americans recognize that Donald Trump is destroying our economy. But Donald Trump and his state regime media like Jesse Waters and Fox will say the following. Trump's turning D.C. into Disney World. You're turning D.C. into Disney World by having armed National Guard, our military, walking around the museum area, making D.C. residents terrified. You're not even putting the troops in where the actual crime is taking place. You're doing it in a performative dystopian show of fascism. But you're making things far worse in Washington, D.C., where most D.C. residents say the biggest threat to their life is you. But then Donald Trump has Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, make his rounds on the morning shows today. And he says, we're not done with seizing control over corporations when it comes to the chip maker Intel, which the United States has seized the production of 10%. We're going after defense contractors like Lockheed Martin. Here's what Howard Lutnick says. Here, play this clip.
What about defense companies, though, Secretary? Why shouldn't the U.S. government say, you know what, we use Palantir services, we would like a piece of Palantir. We use Boeing services, we would like a piece of Boeing. There are a lot of businesses that do business with the U.S. government that benefit by doing business with the U.S. government. I guess the question is, where's the line?
Oh, there's a monstrous discussion about defense. I mean, Lockheed Martin makes 97% of their revenue from the U.S. government. They are basically an arm of the U.S. government. They make exquisite munitions. I mean, amazing things that can knock a missile out of the air when it's coming towards you. But what's the economics of that? I'm going to leave that to my Secretary of Defense and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. These guys are on it and they're thinking about it. But I tell you what, there's a lot of talking that needs to be had about how do we finance our munitions acquisitions. I think a lot of that is talking. And now you have the right people in the jobs and Donald Trump at the head thinking about what is the right way to do it. I tell you, the way it has been done has been a giveaway.
And by the way, here's this video. This video to me is the manifestation of actual communism and central planning. A commerce secretary sitting with a CEO of a private business that Donald Trump recently threatened, the CEO of Intel, bragging about Trump taking control over a large percentage of Intel. That's quite literally communism. Here, play this clip.
I'm sitting with Lip-Bu in my office, and at 3 o'clock, we're going to sign a document together in the Oval Office where the United States of America will own 9.9% of the great American technology company Intel.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is pointing out how there are mass layoffs taking place in our economy right now as tariffs are crushing businesses. In the actual real world, that's what's taking place. The Wall Street Journal editorial board wrote, "A deer in the tariff headlights. The farm equipment maker, John Deere, takes an earnings hit and has to lay off workers." And here's what Pence is posting. John Deere is laying off workers at 3 factories in Iowa. The company said tariffs and lower commodity prices are to blame. Tariff costs in the quarter were approximately $200 million, which brings us roughly $300 million in tariff expense year to date. That's not good. But you bring on Howard Lutnick, and Howard Lutnick says, you know what we're going after next? We're going to take control of patents. And as Tim Miller goes, another bold proposal for nationalization from Comrade Howard Lutnick. Here, play this clip.
Mr. Secretary, I know you've already shared the details of how you kind of hatched this idea. However, the president also says he wants to get as much as he can and that he wants many more cases like Intel. So tonight, tell me what companies y'all might be looking at.
Well, think about this. I'll give you an example. We give hundreds of millions to each university. Tens of billions, up to $200 billion a year. They take that money and they do research and they get patents. And you know who keeps them? The scientist and the university. And we who pay all the money, the American taxpayers, we get nothing. This has got to change. We gave Intel, the Biden administration gave Intel $11 billion in exchange for nothing. So Donald Trump comes in and says, whoa. Why don't you give us $11 billion of your equity? At least America gets the benefit of the bargain. I mean, doesn't that make sense?
The front page of the Miami Herald this morning read, "Prices are just too high. South Florida diners sound off on why they're not dining out." The front page of the Chicago Sun-Times, "Chicago on guard as Donald Trump plans a military invasion of Chicago." The fact that I even have to say that sentence, Trump plans military invasion of Chicago, and Chicago has to step up. The Illinois governor has to be there with all the senators saying, do not invade us or we will strike back. Folks, there's also been more corporate bankruptcies this year already, and it's only August, than all of 2021 and 2022 combined. The most bankruptcies in a single year in decades right now, as corporations are going out of business because of tariffs and Donald Trump's handling of the economy. And if you were wanting stable central banking, central stability when it comes to a central bank in the United States, well, long-dated U.S. Treasuries fell as Donald Trump intensifies efforts to oust the Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, deepening concerns that his attack on the central bank's independence and lobbying for lowest interest rates will fan inflation. Donald Trump announced that he was unlawfully firing Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook is a Federal Reserve governor whose term expires 2038. He falsely and maliciously accused her of engaging in mortgage fraud, for which she hasn't even been criminally prosecuted, because a Donald Trump hatchet man, a guy named Bill Pulte, who runs the Fair Housing Administration, told Donald Trump, made a referral to Donald Trump as they coordinated that together. And then America starts to look like Argentina and Turkey and Zimbabwe and countries where inflation soars. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's behavior has led to India moving away from the U.S. towards China. You have a meeting taking place between China's Xi Jinping, Modi, and Putin in a show of solidarity against the West. So as Donald Trump is weakening NATO, you have Modi's first visit to China in more than 7 years in direct response to Donald Trump. And meanwhile, you have people like Ralph Norman here in the United States, Congress member, MAGA Republican from South Carolina, where crime is very high, talking about sending Marines and National Guard and troops into other states. Invasions of American states. Play the clip.
Do you support National Guard troops in these cities if it comes to that?
Absolutely. Why not? The fact that the crime speaks for itself, the numbers speak for themselves. You mentioned Chicago. Look at Los Angeles. Look at New York City. Let the politicians complain about those who want to keep them safe. I wonder if it happened to their particular family, if they would be singing this off the same sheet of music. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. As someone that lives in one of these cities here in New York.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.